now we will hop into our AL West preview here. The AL West consists of the Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners, Angels, and the Athletics. So I'm not sure what your outlook is on it. The way that I ordered them just there is the way that I think they'll finish. I think the Rangers are going to be the top team from the league, but obviously you have the Astros, who were a letdown last year. You expect them to be better than 84 and 78 team. I think they're going to get an easy second here. I think the Mariners are going to fall off a little bit, although they do look like a team poised to win. Don't have quite the pieces that I think you need in order to beat the Astros and beat out the Rangers. And then at the bottom, the Angels, who are somehow always towards the bottom of the AL with such a nice core there.
I just don't understand.
Maybe no team charisma. I'm not really sure what the issue is there.
Does Mike Scioscia need to go? I don't want to call. I don't know. When you have Mike Trout and Albert Pujols at hitting 3 and 4, I expect you to at least be competing for a wild card.
Right.
And last year, what did they finish? Just under 75 wins, 74 and 88. That's inexcusable.
Right. Yeah.
For two guys who, and I mean, Pujols had a 10-year, $250 million contract, and we are seeing none of that. Yeah, he hits home runs, but it doesn't equate to team success.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm waiting on that. I'm just waiting on the Angels to finally. They're just, ever since the 03 World Series, they have not been that good.
Yeah, it's a waste of Mike Trout's talent at this point.
And I think I think this division's a little different than what we've been talking about typically.
Where it could be tighter.
Yeah, it's going to be way tighter. I think
Yeah.
I think the Mariners and the Athletics are the only teams that you would consider bottom feeder, under 75 or under 70 wins. You know, don't go 500. I don't think they go 500, the Angels or I guess the Angels could if everyone stays healthy. Garrett Richards' elbow hasn't been healthy. They lost, who's the guy that went for the dealership? The guy with the hair. C.J. Wilson's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
Jared Weaver's no longer on the team. So I don't see any real starting pitching there for the Angels. They obviously have a great top 4 lineup with the first 4 in the batting, but they lost Hamilton 2 years ago, and it's not like he really.
I think it might have actually been a few more than 2 years. Honestly,
I think it was the past 2 seasons that they haven't had him. And Mike Trout is just a unanimous MVP every year, unanimously that he's one of the best every year. Like. I say he's hands down the best because I don't think anyone plays defense, draws walks, makes hits, and has an arm all together. It's almost like Giannis Antetokounmpo. To me, he's like one of the best all-around players in the NBA because he can do it all.
We call that a 5-tool player.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is the head of the 5-tool guys.
Yeah, and I look at Bryce Harper, and I think playing in right field diminishes that a little bit because defensively you just don't have a say in the game as much as you would in center field. He's not robbing home runs. He's not nearly as athletic. He doesn't hit as well, even though he draws a lot of walks, Harper does. So does Trout, and he gets the hits. He's smart in the strike zone. He doesn't overswing. I think the kid is just so talented in his head. Mentally, I think he's such a talented player. And then he pairs it, and it's just he's a waste.
Yes.
He's an absolute waste of talent. And so... I don't have anything to say about the Mariners because although the Mariners are the Athletics.
Well, yeah, and here at the bottom of the division we have the A's yet too. So we can actually, we can go bottom up if you'd like to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like we have been, and like you said, this division is a little bit different because in the past we've been talking really. There's 2 teams competing for each division. The NL West, the NL East, NL Central really only has those 2 teams, and then a steep drop-off after each of those.
And I think this one, the Angels have, and I'm going to clarify what I said earlier about the 81 wins. I don't think, and I didn't say this outright, I don't think the Athletics or the Mariners get 81 wins. I think the Angels can go over 81 wins. I just don't know how hard they compete for that next playoff, but I know they're not a bottom feeder because they do have talent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do have talent. Like you said, they're 1 through 4. Does get on base. The OPS is up there. it's just, they just don't find a way to put it all and bring it all together.
Well, if you look at the division, there is probably 4 teams that you think could compete. I think the Angels would be the outsider there. Obviously, the Athletics are at the bottom, and we don't really have to explain too much about them. No real offense there.
Right.
And obviously, you have Sonny Gray. Jarrell Conton is a fun young kid that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But really, outside of that, they don't have too much. They didn't make any sexy free agent signings. Obviously, a team in a deep rebuild maybe hasn't even started their rebuild.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
So,
like Felix Dubron is not a guy I would typically rebuild with. Former Red Sox pitcher, live arm, but not accurate per se. Rajay Davis, a speed guy. Trevor Plouffe, a serviceable third baseman, but nothing here that tells me they can go 500. And they didn't really lose too much, which is, Sam Folt's a legitimate star.
As far as defense goes.
Yeah. Obviously, with that, I think he probably hits around 250. And Danny Valencia is a guy that used to be good with the Nationals, and now, was it Nationals or was it Indians? I think it was Indians. Or actually could be Twins.
Yeah, I think if you're talking Nationals, I think you're talking Danny Espinosa.
Espinosa, Valencia.
But obviously, the A's really not much to talk about there. We can move on from them.
Yeah. Moving up to the Angels. To the Mariners. They did have a good. They had a pretty good season last year, 86 and 76. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're making that push.
Right. They're another team that, I look at the Angels, I think, wow, the Angels should be competitive, and they just really aren't. The Mariners, obviously, last year, 86 and 76 is not a bad record.
No.
Wasn't there to hold their own in the AL, but I think they do have a team that is ready to win, but I don't think they have it all together. Obviously, you have Cano, who's an aging stud still.
Yeah.
Felix Hernandez, which is still one of the best pitchers in the league. And other than that, I don't think that they have the firepower, really. We can check out their depth chart.
They made really good additions this year.
Yeah.
But Giovanni Gallardo, a guy aging. Carlos Ruiz, aging. Valencia, aging. Jared Dyson, a speed guy out there. I'm curious to see how he works out.
Right.
And Gene Segura, a guy who hits pretty well at shortstop. It has an all-right glove. Drew Smiley had a pretty good season some years ago. I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, they have him
as far as
right now. Their rotation looks like obviously Felix Hernandez #1 by long and away. Then Hisashi Iwakuma, who is a nice piece too. James Paxton, and then Drew Smiley 4, Gallardo 5. Gallardo would probably be a 2 or a 3 or a 4 on any team. They have him as a 5. So obviously the pitching is there for them. And the lineup really isn't all that bad. You have Danny Valencia, Gene Segura, Kyle Seager, who are some bigger names. Outfield is not as sexy.
Other than Jared Dyson, which is
Gerard
really
Dyson,
good pickup.
He's quick. He's an all-right hitter, and then Mitch Haniger over on the right side. So they have Nelson Cruz at the DH, who's obviously one of the bigger names as far as hitting power goes.
Last year he did really, really well.
So they're a team that I expect to compete, but I think they're going to stick with the Astros or the Rangers? Not exactly. So then we can hop up. We did already talk about the Angels a little bit here.
Yeah, we can move on.
So we can continue past them. Obviously, Mike Trout and Pujols just can't seem to put it together yet for that team for some reason. And then you move on to the top 2 teams in this league who are in this division, who I don't think are far and away the best teams. I think the Rangers are. I think the Rangers are the far and away winner of this division. But I think the Astros can certainly, they had a disappointing year this year after making the playoffs the year before.
Yeah, I know. Because I thought with the addition of Carlos, center fielder from the Brewers.
Yeah.
Is he on the team anymore?
Yeah, he is. He is still on the team.
He's a fiery guy that took the Astros to the next.
Actually, no,
level.
sorry. He's on the Rangers. He's on the Rangers.
He's on the Rangers now. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Carlos Gomez.
Thank you. But what I like about the Astros is that they're a young team. They still have George Springer.
They do still have George Springer.
They added Carlos Beltran, which is, you can say what it is. Nori Aoki, Josh Reddick, Brian McCann, all veteran guys.
Right.
They already have a young stud. They still have Dallas Keuchel.
Well, they have obviously a nice young core there with Springer, Correa,
Colin
Correa,
McHugh.
and McHugh's over there. But Correa,
Oh,
and
Correa,
Bregman,
he's a stud.
yeah, and Alex Bregman is one of the biggest young names coming up too. That left side of the infield should be very solid. And then obviously you have Altuve too, who has been one of the best baseball players in the league over the past few years.
Oh yeah, over the past probably 5 years, he's probably one of the best second basemen.
And then a shutdown closer too with Ken Giles, who was a former Philly here. They have a team that definitely will not be an 84 win team this year. Will more than likely be maybe around a 90. I would say.
These additions, their outfield is so deep.
Yeah,
they have youth and they have veteranship, which is huge in Major League Baseball. Typically, teams that are older are the ones who are winning.
I mean, you still have, and you have Brian McCann behind the plate, and you still have Evan Gattis too, who can come in and hit for power. And then Beltran, he's not even playing an outfield position; he is signed solely to be the DH. So they have some great depth there. They have a lot of great hitters, and obviously with Keuchel, McCullers, recently signed Charlie Morton. And then Musgrove and Fires rounding out the rotation. I think it's an easy 90-win team. I think they could compete for that first spot in the division.
Especially when you have starting pitching.
Oh yeah,
and they have, and it's deep too.
Yeah,
and it's deep. But moving to who I think is the best team in this division, and that is the Texas Rangers. They finished last year at 96 and 67, which is awesome. Quietly,
like we said, the best team in the AL last year, quietly.
And what I'd like to see from them is Yu Darvish finally being healthy, because with him and Cole Hamels as the 1 and 2, I mean, I don't know if there's especially going from righty to lefty. I think there's a lot of potential there. If you know what I mean. First off, you keep these guys healthy, you keep them on the field, and also. You keep on the field, and also you're hitting. And that's something we've seen they don't have a problem with. Unfortunately, Prince Fielder is no longer in the league after that spinal fusion deal. He has decided that it's not safe for him to play baseball anymore. So they have brought in Mike Napoli. I love the addition of Tyson Ross to be probably your third guy. Is that where they have him?
They have him well, right now he's hurt. Not expected to be ready for opening day, but I mean, I think Tyson Ross is the number 2 guy on most teams outside of.
Well, when you have Yu Darvish and Cole Hamels, you're almost deferred to the third spot. And I like him there. I like Tyson Ross. I loved him with the Padres. I thought a contender was going to pick him up, and they did.
Right.
And I'm happy to see that. Talent's not being wasted.
If you're talking a young team that's rebuilding, say, maybe a Phillies or a Marlins, Tyson Ross probably is the ace of the staff. But you get a Cole Hamels and a Yu Darvish ahead of you. Obviously, you're not going to be the ace, but yeah, he is there. And then they also have a great lineup. Obviously, you have Carlos Gomez, who hasn't been quite the shining star that he used to be, but then you have young Jurickson Profar, who is a stud, Adrian Beltre, who is obviously always one of the best hitters in the league, Rougned Odor, who we said 33 home runs last year, small dude with great power, Jonathan Lucroy, arguably the best catcher in the league. You could talk semantics here with Yadier Molina, Buster Posey. Jonathan Lucroy is right in that conversation. And then Elvis Andrus over there at shortstop too. They have a good team, and then Shin-Soo Choo is projected to be their.
Yeah, they paid him some good money, and I think he's a solid bat.
Yeah.
You said he's not maybe so much defensively sound, but he does swing a good bat.
Which is what you need in the AL.
And it's a team that you said before the show started, quietly the best team in the AL last year.
Right.
And I guess, I don't know if you want to call the AL weak. I think the league maybe.
Last year, everybody was obsessing over the Indians being that shining star, and then obviously the Red Sox being as good as they are with the young talent that they have, look to be the Cubs of the AL this year. So the Rangers weren't quite the sexy team last year, but they, like we said, were the quiet AL leader last year in wins. And another part of the team that I do want to talk about, very underrated staff is their bullpen. Sam Dyson is a shutdown
Good
closer.
relievers and a good closer too.
Yeah, and then Jared Jeffers, who is actually one of my favorite pitchers in the league. He's had some issues with drugs in the past. He's had some, he's the Josh Gordon of Major League Baseball right now. A lot of
he's getting his second or third chance.
Oh yeah, he's been suspended twice, so he gets one last suspension and he's out.
Permanent ban.
Out permanently. But his 2016 stats, and this was across most of the time was with the Brewers, and he was brought over with the Lucroy trade over to the Rangers.
Right.
He had a 2.33 ERA last year, 27 saves, and in 59 games, and he's not even projected to be the closer on this team. Like I said, Sam Dyson is. So that back end is solid. Both have closing experience. An underrated bullpen staff there over in Texas. I think they're still going to be the long shot winner.
I just don't think the Astros
could
are
back it up.
Well, I think some of these guys might be a little too old. Beltran, what is he, 38?
Yeah, he's an old dude, but he can still hit.
I'm just saying, the Rangers are like all of their players are in their prime.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Or they're young. In Jurickson Profile, we remember him. He hit back-to-back home runs in his MLB debut, and everyone knew. And he was a switch hitter. Mm-hmm. He hit one from left and from right. So you knew he was going to be good. Joey Gallo's on the rise, which we didn't really talk about. He's a stud of a first baseman. And the only reason he's there is to just get experience that when he is ready, you're not like throwing him to the fire like maybe the Phillies are to Tommy Joseph.
Right. Well, I think it was Joey Gallo who, I think it was in San Diego last year, and he was in the Futures game, I believe, and he was hitting bombs in the Futures home run derby. He's an exciting young bat. You get excited to see him, especially with Napoli, who's older, and his career is coming to an end. Obviously,
I think this is like the catalyst to finally get Joey Gallo ready for the everyday starter, maybe 160 games a year. 140 games a year.
Right.
And like I said, I agree with you that the Rangers are going to be it, but don't be surprised if the Astros are the wild card matchup.
Absolutely.
With anyone else. Maybe the Angels or the Mariners. Maybe we could have 3 playoff teams from the AL West. And if you look at some of the other AL teams, it's possible. It's possible, just like anything else.
Right.
Obviously, the Red Sox are going to take their division. I don't think they're going to be in a wild card spot. And I don't think the Indians are going to be in a wild card spot. I think they, far and away, take their division. So it's exciting to see what 5 teams, I guess with the one-game playoff, what 5 teams make the playoff. But that's it for us here at Young and Dominant Sports Talk. Coming to you live from Facebook Live. Alongside Tyler Young, I'm Dominic Barone. We're broadcasting to you live from the 3rd most important city in the nation, but the number 1 most important in our hearts. We'll be back next week, and that is in 6 days and 22 hours. Remember, if you would like to purchase Lehigh Valley Phantoms tickets for April 14th, that is a Friday, 7 o'clock game start, please contact me any way you can. Anything else you have to say?
No, that's it. I won't be here next week, so you're going to be manning the ship all week next week.
That's right.
So,
oh wow, that's right.
It's opening day for me, so that's a big.
I'm gonna have a little different of a can review. We'll see how this works. I hope you enjoyed. Monday is going to be a great day, and I'll probably I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll probably just be running around with my head cut off in Philadelphia like a madman, probably. But we'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.